Hello friend, welcome to Side Scanner YouTube channel. This video discuss about by Hyundai's design chief on how the Ioniq 9 was inspired by the Audi A2 and Doctor Who. So let's start my video. Simon Loesby explains how the Gernum's Ioniq 9 took inspiration from some slightly unusable places, grey pots. Published 21 November 2024. Top Gear magazine subscription 5 issues for €5. This is the new Hyundai Ioniq 9 and it is absolutely massive. You can read the full story by clicking this below words. But first you should know that this thing is over 5 meters long. It's actually 8 longer and then a full size Range Rover, and the wheelbase is over 3 meters. It's very nearly 2 meters wide too. The boot is pretty giant with the third row of seats folded flat. You get 1323 liters of legroom space, and there's an 88-liter Frank if you spec the single motor car, or 55 liters for twin motors. You can just have either 6 or 7 seats inside, and there actually is genuinely thought space in the back row for a 6-foot adult. Clearly, there was loads of space for Hyundai's design team to play with. So TG asked Simon Loesby, Senior Vice President and Head of the Hyundai Design Center, to tell us more about the uh, gigantic EV. TG, with all of the aerodynamic requirements, how difficult is it to design or a large EV like the Ioniq 9? What was interesting about this car was the hand bandwidth of what is called an SUV in the market. You got everything from big boxy SUVs to pumped uh, up cups being referred to as SUVs, and Wade had big success with Ioniq 6 in terms of just how streamlined we called make a car. You might like Mercedes E 450D straight review diesel and not an SUV. Go on, you know you want to. Exclusive Jaguar boss explains how the Jaguar 00 can save the company. Porsche Taycan turbos as a review are pointless. 952 bhp Porsche. The Genesis CGRM GMR 001 Le Mans cars V8 will be two 4C YLWRC engines bolted together. So far, this car we looked at this shape we needed to create to make a great 3-row car and give the user the maximum amount of space, while also making it function aerodynamically. With our very first digital models, we got down to like 0.3 CD. We had 3 models running as we shopped the 7 concept, one of which was obviously this, and because the architecture was working that early, we know that we had a chance to get down to the 0.227s for drag confident. We didn't release we would go get to the 0.25s. Then we got into a real strive for simplicity, a design that don't shout at you. I like to say beauty, not botox. We looking for an inherent natural beauty with an almost aircraft like false flag. The windscreen angel is very fast, and we pulled the call point towards forwards probably by a couple of hundred millimeters compared to an ice car. But then the highest point is further back somewhere over the second row. We don't normally do not do that. That was probably the most challenging line from a side view to get that downward acceleration. There was other chair which was really good at that, the Audi A2. We thought that design worked, and we wanted to try and extrapolate that and refine it for a full three-row SUV. We have a fantastic aero team, but this wants an aero car, and yet we still thought, let's see how well we can do. We just done Santa Fe the box, and we thought we called be 10% better in items of drag confident compared to that car, but it still needs to have that bold front, and it needs to have that presence, and it needs to have the height and the ground clearance. All of this are negatives for us, really, but we took on the challenge to create that fifted suite, which has a less daunting character. Even thought it's our biggest car, it don't look so big from the outside. Picture the scene. I am trying to explain Doctor Who and the TARDIS to our team or Korean designer to explain small on the outside, big on the inside. It was a fun discussion. It's justifiably large, but it's non-dauntingly attractive. That's what we were playing with here. TG, and the rear is almost straight like. The shoulder is actually quite straight on the car, but if the roof is too straight, then it just starts looking too elongated along and long at the back. The truncated rear gives us the biggest rear volume and efficient aerodynamics. It works in terms of space and to give us a unique character for this segment. Top Gear newsletters. Get all the latest news, reviews, and exclusives direct to you to your inbox, your email, and enter your email in here. TG, do you know now feel more confident if your designs with this overarching pixel language? For me, it's working. It's hugely differentiated between cars. That's difficult for us, but it's a wonderful creative challenge. We're not down this narrow corridor, or this are all design elements, and that's it. But we see it has worked on 5, it has worked on 6, and we believe it work here too. And of course, we have a crazy big portfolio with ICE cars and cell cars. We really do look at the wall range as chess pieces that come from the same set but look different, so to suit different purposes. TG, where did the area idea for the body color inserts in the arches come from? On 7, and we had a wheel sitting inside are typically so it's a squared of SUV wheelage. All of that extra space around the wheel creates a drag and turbulence to anything that's not flush or closed, gives us a negative aerodynamic effect. So we wanted to close up the arch, but still get that square look. Naturally, we end up with the cladding in this casual circular shape, but we wanted to break up the night height of the car, so we took the cladding up further and then added the body colored insert. The lower trim level all have black cladding, whereas the calligraphy trim with the turbine like 21 in wheel has the cladding all in body color. Cladding is a little cheat in a way. It helps the car fit the club. Customers are outend to thinking cladding means more versatility than with calligraphy. More body color comes across as more premium. TG, where you tempted to go even bigger than 20 in wheels? Oh yeah, always. I am a designer. I am still having to discussion. ID love to put 21st, 22 or 23 on it, but it comes down to getting into the right price category for the car. and the weight limits and the strength of suspension arms etc. TG, to you talk about furniture like approach to the interior will that affect the materials used. Oh, I hope so. I think videos is coming back. It's a kind of awesomely cheesy. There are some amazing sustainable fabrics coming for pretty much every surface of the interior. To we just have to get over their should for wear and tear in car interiors. Read more. The biggest Hyundai ever built has landed. This is the three-row iconic Ionic 9. In this car, my favorite interior touch is the Universal Island 3 2.0. We have the first generation on Iconic 5, but in this car, we wanted to see how much further we could slide it and how much lighter we could make the rails. It's bigger too, so we got to storage areas, and then it's got this double way things so that both the front seats and second row can use it. It's brilliant. TG called VC in an or XRT versions of the Ionic 9. I will just say never. It's a big car so far, and you need really big brakes and really big wheels. Plus, anything about lightweight and high performance kind of clashes, but never say never. In an American context, an off-roady XT version called work. We never ruled this things out, and us designers we always challenging everything. Who knows what called come. तो दोस्तों आज की वीडियो के लिए सिर्फ इतना ही। मैं मिलता हूँ आपसे अगली वीडियो के अंदर, तब तक के लिए बाय।